Today, we're diving into something that's quietly shaping our entire world. We're talking about the hidden risks of AI and what happens when the machines we build learn from our own worst mistakes.
I mean, think about it. Artificial intelligence is literally everywhere now. It's helping doctors spot diseases earlier, it's sorting through resumes for our dream jobs, and it's deciding what you see online every single day. The promise, right, is this huge boost in efficiency and smarts.
But there's a massive question we have to ask. As these systems are learning from all the data we've created, what if they're not just picking up on our successes? What if they're also absorbing our deepest, most problematic biases?
And that brings us right to the heart of our first section, AI's hidden risk. We're going to peel back that shiny surface of all these amazing AI tools and really look at a fundamental problem that most people just don't see.
So here's the thing you have to understand. The problem usually isn't the complex code or the fancy algorithm. Nope. The real trouble starts with the data, the massive libraries of information we use to teach these systems. If that data is broken, the AI will be too. It's that simple.
And this idea flows perfectly into our second section, when data learns our bias. This is where we'll see exactly how feeding AI flawed data doesn't just create a technical error, it creates real-world, deeply unfair results.
Okay, so let's get on the same page. What is a biased dataset? Well, you can think of it like a training manual for an AI that's just wrong. Maybe it's missing entire chapters, or the information it has is skewed, or it's based on historical injustices. When an AI learns from that, it has no choice but to spit out biased results.
And this is where you can see the problem in black and white. A huge study from MIT found that some popular facial recognition systems had an error rate of just 1% for light-skinned men. Pretty good, right? But for dark-skinned women, that error rate shot up to a shocking 34%.
And let's be super clear here. This is not just a technical glitch. When these systems are being used by law enforcement, a 34% error rate can mean a false ID, a wrongful arrest, a life completely turned upside down. In hiring, it means perfectly qualified people get weeded out by a machine before a human ever even sees their name.
So you might be wondering, okay, where is all this biased data coming from? Well, the problem actually gets a lot deeper because the hunt for more and more data often leads straight to violating our privacy. Let's talk about how this issue of fairness is tied directly to our rights.
This quote really just nails it. When companies scrape our photos and our personal conversations to train their AI, all without us knowing, they're not just building a biased system. They're breaking fundamental privacy laws and, completely destroying our trust in the technology.
And if you want a perfect and honestly kind of chilling real-world example of this, look no further than Clearview AI. This company built a gigantic facial recognition database by scraping billions of photos from public websites, all without anyone's consent. Then they turned around and sold it to law enforcement. As you can imagine, this kicked off a storm of international backlash and legal fights that are still going on.
So, if we know these problems exist, why are they so incredibly hard to fix? Well, that brings us to this idea of the black box. It's all about the challenge of, not being able to see what's going on inside.
The black box problem is basically this. We can see the data that goes into an AI, and we can see the decision that comes out. But the part in the middle, the how it got to that conclusion, that's completely hidden. It makes it almost impossible for anyone, sometimes even the people who built it, to check it for bias.
And this is where that lack of transparency gets really, really dangerous. I mean, think about it. An invisible algorithm could deny you a mortgage, reject your job application, influence a doctor's diagnosis, or even play a part in a courtroom decision. When the stakes are that high, not knowing why a decision was made is just not okay.
Remember the whole Apple Card situation back in 2019? This was a perfect black box moment. Reports started flooding in that the algorithm was giving women much lower credit limits than men, even when they had similar or even better financial histories. And when people asked why, the company couldn't explain it. They just said the algorithm was impartial.
Okay, so after all of that, it sounds pretty bad, but is there a way forward? Is there a path to fixing this? Yes, absolutely. So for our final section, let's look at how we can actually build ethical AI.
The solution, maybe not surprisingly, starts right back where the problem began, with the data. We need to actively build datasets that are diverse and represent everyone. We have to keep records of where our data comes from. We have to constantly check for bias. And, this is huge, we can use new tech that lets AI learn without ever collecting our personal data in the first place.
So really, when you boil it all down, building AI we can actually trust rests on three big ideas. First, transparency. Companies have to open up that black box. Second, accountability. We need a way to challenge an AI's decision when it's wrong. And finally, privacy by design, which just means building privacy protections in from the very beginning, not slapping them on as an afterthought.
And so we end on this one. Big question. AI is basically a mirror. It's just reflecting the world we show it. So the challenge for all of us, the builders, the regulators, and just us, the users, is to make sure that the reflection it shows back to us is the best version of ourselves, and not just a digital copy of our oldest mistakes.